Remember the first one didn't turn the sound on. It's on now. So that's called improvement. That's why we iterate. Hello and welcome. I don't like that intro. Nate uses that intro for stuff I podcast on. We're going to take that one more time. It's extraneous content. We're back. Part 2, the part no one asked for. Cue up the AI generated intro that has way too many typos to be a computer.
Synth music plays. Synth music plays.
Mm-hmm. You know me. Anything that's I since we're kind of talking about it, everybody should go subscribe to White Bat Audio. Karl Casey, he's incredible. He's on Spotify and he makes like thousands of songs that are royalty free and they're really good and they're kind of steezy, like they're kind of what I want because there's a lot of 80s sci-fi action movie inspired stuff. Like he's got an Aliens one and it's just too good stuff for me to not use. So Karl Casey, thank you. You make my shorts a better place. But today we're not talking about Karl Casey because we ventured out there and we did what everyone was too afraid to do. We ranked all the logos and we're coming back for a part 2. That's right, baby. This is our reloaded. This is our Too Fast. This is our Judgment Day.
Ba-bum.
Exactly. I'm glad to be back. Thank you for joining me again, Chad.
Of course, happy to be here, Trent. Happy to get down to brass tacks and figure out where the rest of these logos need to go. You know, the people have been clamoring. It's been like Infinity War to Endgame over
so
here.
Many
they need
groupies
this
in my front yard.
Content.
Yeah, I had to run 6 of them off this morning with a stick. So just rolling it back a little bit, I'm gonna run through our list that we did last time. Kind of sort of do a catch up. If you haven't seen the first one, it's on the YouTube channel. Go over, just / @TheTalkOver. Everywhere it's @TheTalkOver, you can find us. Twitch,
like
YouTube,
and subscribe
Facebook.
while you're there. Dang it! Leave a comment.
This should be coming out as a premiere. If I'm thinking fourth dimensionally properly, I'll be in the chat commenting on it while this is going on. So let's. I know. Wow. But thank you for
I'm here, but there.
All right, so this is what we got going right now. We got a rankings board from the last time. This is so weird because I don't want to talk about it. I'm breaking the magic. All right, MGM is up top. We got Universal, followed behind Warner Brothers. We got 20th Century Fox, Walt Disney, Columbia TriStar. Columbia TriStar. I was about to say Slash, but that is the Slash. Dimension, New Line Cinema, Orion, and Touchstone Films. Before we get going, a couple of things. 1, I'm still heartbroken about Orion. I'm never going to let it go. 2, but we were talking about this beforehand. There's a couple I'm like, you let me get away with some stuff. I think we did good. I think we did good. When we end up in the Mr. and Mrs. Smith counseling, we'll be like, he still thinks Orion sucks. But
it's not what I said.
As I absolutely did.
Closer and closer towards the middle of the couch.
Perfect. I actually went on a little journey after our last episode. I stayed up way too late and I found myself bouncing around movie YouTubers, like a lot of people like myself that have, I think, kind of interesting points and make some quirky little videos, but like nobody watches them. So like there was I shared a bunch of things last time too, because there's a lot of people that put together cuts of opening logos and a lot of hard work went into people that love this stuff. And so I wanted to shout them out a little bit. And I found out what Touchstone Films, what that logo is. I've seen that smudge like my whole life, and I just thought somebody drew it. That's what a touchstone is. Back in the day, people would be like, "Give me money for this metal. It's valuable metal," and someone else goes, "That's not real valuable metal." And they go, "Yes, it is. Scratch it on the touchstone," and that's what that logo is because Disney wanted to start putting out more live action stuff. Tron didn't do super well, but there's a few others that like other companies were having success with.
People are just dumb.
Well, so they wanted to do like they wanted to do R-rated stuff. They wanted to do more adult stuff. And they were like, let's see if it works by testing it over at Touchstone. And immediately I was like, That makes that logo so much cooler. I don't think it gets it out of C tier though. But it's cool.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Absolutely. Okay, so let's kick this party off the way it should be. We got A24 right up here. I'm just gonna I'll put it out here. It won't let me move it in the middle. It's being very contrarian. A24. This is probably the newest one I think we're gonna talk about, and I do feel kind of bad that it made it and we're not talking about, say, Braun or STX or Amazon, or which those are kind of more third episode. If we were to ever do one, there's definitely other movies that we're going to bring some up today. And A24, though, I think rises above for a couple of reasons. And one is they have gone for it with movies. They are some of the people's favorite. Everything Everywhere All at Once was huge. That was probably the biggest door kick in of them, because they were doing cool stuff, but they hadn't quite figured it out. It's kind of like when distilleries start making whiskey. You got to age it, but like you can't sell it if it's aging. So what you do is you usually partner with another distillery, and that way you can help get your licenses, and then you make blends. So your first few years you're just blending stuff. That's kind of what A24 was doing with things like
Spring Breakers.
Yeah. Friendly Fire. Those are movies
the early
that are
days.
So close to being like really good, and they're crazy, but they just weren't there. Now they've locked it in. They're hitting out bangers. But I'm the guy that doesn't talk about what they put out. I'm the guy that talks about design. This might be one of the best designs up here. Like
the way that it not to cut you off, sorry, but like the way that it like notches in, like when you see it in live action, you're just like, oh man, art.
Absolutely.
It's just like simple, but like I know it sounds really dumb, but like, man, the way it like jumps in and comes together, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna see some shit, aren't I? Like,
there's like several layers. Well, there's definitely that, it's going to be in for a while, right? But there's a few layers here, and if you look at it, it's essentially doing the same thing that New Line Cinema is doing, except way better and off of every angle. I think 24 has to do with frames per second, I would assume, so that also ties into films. It is just a font, but because they've done the lines, it's like a rainbow color, so it's like fractals off a prism, like looking through a lens. There's a treatment over the entire thing to give it sort of like a vintage look, which is my steez. They didn't tame a lion, and they haven't had the amount of years as the other ones at the top. But I have a hard time not saying this. This is S tier. This looks real good.
I agree, S tier, and also I have an update on that fact. So the 24 name was inspired by the Italian A24 motorway Katz was driving on when he decided to found the company.
That's the most random reason to name a thing a thing. I'm on this road and I named my distribution company PCH. Anyway, I
don't know. There's sometimes you get an attachment to a road. A lot of my production things that I put under Twombly Productions was a road that we often frequented in DeKalb, Illinois, Twombly Road.
Yeah, Twombly. That's a really interesting name. There's also
it's a little more interesting than A24, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I was trying to think.
We thought it was mysterious. We thought it was cooler than it was.
Is it like Desert Rose or Lightning Road? Something Thunder Road?
Road?
No, it's
like
a
the
movie.
Bruce Springsteen song.
It's a Springsteen. No, there's another road thing, and any one of them have a better name than A24. It's like the Madness song NW5. I know it's a road. The song has nothing to do with the name of the road. Whatever, you're an artist, man. Who am I to complain? But I want it up here, but I don't think it belongs before the ones that have paved the way for it. That's my pitch. Is right behind Warner Bros. Because they also don't have as many variations. They haven't had enough time. This is one of those, like, I would say they still have room for improvement over another 20 years. They have a chance to like make a red one and a green if they want to, if they choose to. Yeah. So if they want,
or just make their brand that much stronger over time to where you don't see anyone but them anymore. But
basically, it's getting down to it because all this stuff is owned by Disney now. So like this is one of the few that isn't. So it's like one of the last bastions. So I think, and they didn't get a lion. If nobody gets a real lion, they're not beating MGM. I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's move on to the next one. DreamWorks. We know this one. We love this one. I can hear this one because the water and the like. But there's a bridge in this. This one has its own theme song. I mean, Warner Bros has the from like Looney Tunes. And the rest of it, Dimension has a couple associated with it. Orion has its own. This one has the most character sound, and this is a really well designed logo. Lots of moving parts to it. Everything's cohesive. It's in a good font. There's nothing crazy about it. It's just all a bunch of things that work, and that's really indicative of the people, because this is an offshoot of Amblin. I almost threw Amblin in, but Amblin spent so much time as a production company that I don't. It was a distribution company, but kind of. Whereas DreamWorks was, and it
rides that line.
Yeah, it's just what Amblin became. It's like it's other stuff's extraneous content, and then they worked their way through and tried to figure. Does it sound a little familiar? I think this is an S tier. I think it's above A24. I have a hard time putting it above Warner Bros, but I want to hear your thoughts on it.
I think S tier is crazy for this one.
Okay.
I think
I have no personal ties with this one. You could make a case
for A tier. I really have always enjoyed the effect that over time it's gotten better, where like the little boy's actually fishing and moving in the logo, and later years, but like it's also still mostly just like the same thing. Like
there are a lot of blue. I noticed this. It's a lot of sky and a lot of the globe, which is mostly water. So like there's a lot of blue in these. We got more coming up that are bluer than this.
Like for example, with 20th Century Fox, when you hear those drums go off, you're like, oh,
that does have
got
character
a movie
sound
going on. Like,
yeah, okay. Well,
there's never that I hear the DreamWorks. Yeah, that's my proposition, is right underneath that, because when you hear the DreamWorks, you're always just like, all right, I'm in for a movie. I'm never like, oh fuck yeah, it's a DreamWorks movie.
I also just don't watch a lot of animated stuff as much. I try to watch more. It's a thing. I can't explain it. But we talked a lot about the last time how that castle for Walt Disney, for Disney Pictures, stresses me out. There's just too many buttresses and like flying whatevers and places where people could hold arrows.
Lies in the face of my architectural taste, damn it.
It's what it's supposed to be, and I think it's very, very well made. We put it in A tier. I still like it. It still stresses me out. These are just facts, but I'm very happy with this. Let's move on to one that I know we both really like, and I might have got the worst small picture for this one ever. That's Lucasfilms. So. Yeah. Here's what I want to pitch about this. It is just words, but I've tried to make words into like stamped, like look like they're stamped metal or like emblems or pins. And this has looked like that forever. And then they've added like the effects because it was like a gold or a copper color. And then they get some in the green. So the tarnishing. So there's a story being told with this, as opposed to it like I know I'm not trying to make fun of this, but like, yeah, Warner Brothers thing turns into a bat. This doesn't turn into anything Star Warsy. This is its own thing, and and I talk a lot about the Fog City Mavericks. We were just talking about a Spielberg joint. This is Lucas's stuff here, and it's kind of timeless. I don't think it's that wild. It's definitely the lowest I would start at. Ooh, that's tough. I should have thought about these beforehand. I like it better than Disney. I think it's better than DreamWorks. 20th Century Fox is where I'm having a hard time, so I want to hear what you have to say about it.
I put it...
It's a tough one, right?
I'm floating really in that. I'm in the S tier for sure. I'm floating. Does it go...
I don't know about that, because there's not much variation to it. It's only for...
But there's the music too there.
Right,
it's
but also...
always just...
You were talking about all the movies that you love when you're watching these other ones, the things that they evoke. This did not put out that many movies. This put out like 6 movies. So this is the smallest one. Because they got sold.
All the Indiana Jones as well.
Oh, it was Indiana Jones. You're right. Well, 9.
Like Lucasfilm isn't, yeah, just that, but
I don't know if it can go up top. If it's up top, there's no way it's better than Warner Bros. And I would say it is better
and that's
than
what I was kind of
A24.
like floating on. Yeah, I would say because it evokes a stronger response above A24, but like you said, Warner Bros. That logo, they just do too much with it over the years, and not in a bad way. Like it's
Yeah.
been the Batman logo, it's turned into all sorts of goofy things, and it's always a thrill when you see that. Like
It's just, I'm really, people are going to make fun of me and call me a fanboy if I keep promoting George Lucas's heart. I didn't mean to.
argue against it harder than Trent.
I think it blows. I think he could have done a little bit better with it, if you ask me. And I know how lazy he is because I've watched all his documentaries. I sound more like a Star Wars bro. All right, I'm putting it over A24. It belongs there. The man worked hard and he helped us make a lot of stuff in film. And he hates editing like me. So there we go. All right, this one, I don't know where this one can go because there's a couple of these.
This is gonna be hard.
So we got Lionsgate. I didn't get a picture of the gears because there wasn't a really good one with the name and that. And I just wanted us to be able to, because these are so small, these are so shitty, like to do this on. But anyway. So we have the old gear one, and then eventually I started doing these with the clouds, and some of them merged in together. So I like that there's a lot of variation with what Lionsgate's done over the years. This is another one that's now owned by Disney. So again, we're all just shilling for the mouse. I think this is a really good one. I think it is A tier. I don't. This is a tough one because that's a lot of work to do that. So, but it's nowhere near as prolific as say Fox, DreamWorks, Disney. I'd argue somewhere either in the last 3 slots, even if it's after Dimension. But I could also see it. I could see it before because there's a lot more work done to this than the Dimension one. I have a hard time putting over TriStar because they had a Pegasus. Like, come on. But I could be persuaded to put it above that one. What do you think?
I would not be the one who would persuade you, to be honest. Like,
oh, you lower on Lionsgate?
And it's nothing. I love their movies. I love what they do, but like, I have a hard time remembering the animation for the logo off the top of my head.
It's just moving gears. If you can kind of picture the copper gears, then that's all it was for a long time.
And for me, that's the biggest strike against it here, is because again, we're ranking the logos here, and just like
Lionsgate's older than I think we realize, because I remember working at the Blockbuster, and I don't know why I call it the Blockbuster. It's either the Buster or Blockbuster. I've combined the two. I think there's an older one that has a lion. I need to check this before. It's Gate.
All right, check the tape, logo. Everyone. Go into the tape.
Because I did say if they wrangle a lion, old logo. I also appreciate that it's one word a lot of places, because the TalkOver isn't one word and Lionsgate is not one word. I kind of appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, it's not a real lion. That's not a real lion.
No, it's just
made out of stars. Very pretty, very cool. But that's, that's for like a letterhead. So what level did you say you're at with this one?
I didn't like yet, because now that I'm looking through here, the tape, checking back the tape, playing back.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the variations of these. I feel like they kind of dropped the ball, and like
really?
So they've had good ones, and then they've kind of like had good ones since, but they're progressively not as creative to we're at like just the cloud thing now. And now I'm like,
but it's way more work than New Line went into. It's way more than Orion. It's way more in touchscreen. Those 3 never changed. Dimension changed a little bit, but like again, like a 9-year-old could do Dimension.
Of A, but
all right, I'm gonna give you that one because I know how strong you are for Dimension, and honestly, like it is a really cool one. But as much as I enjoyed the movies, I've never gone, ooh, I really like this one. It's pretty, but it doesn't excite me like anything on the top row.
Yeah, I just don't feel anything about it. It's not bad. It just it doesn't evoke a response.
Well, let's move on to the next one that I feel weird about this one, because again, it's Disney because it's Pixar. But here's what I'm going to say. For starters, it's another Disney joint that doesn't stress me out. 2, this has a character. this has a mascot. Like, yeah, we got the lion, we got like the lady and the horse, but like this has character. This thing has its own shorts. This character will have its own logo before its own short. That's kind of wild, and it evokes everything you want. That's way more work than anybody's put into any of these. And I don't know that makes it the top of S tier. I don't want to say that right away, but like there's way more hours. But even with the training the lion, like this take way more time to make literally individual animated, basically short films just to open a movie. It's kind of a big deal. It's also really big with people that are younger than me. People that are going to be 10 to 20 years younger have grown up with Pixar being right there alongside them. I mean, this is very, very inspirational. I know a lot of people that these kind of movies are the only movies that they can watch. I know that they're really big, like in the autistic community. I know that Pixar is a little more than the sum of its parts. And even though I don't, but that's the thing, I don't watch any of the movies. So I have no personal attachment to it other than I think this is very well made. This is like 3D chess compared to the other ones. Mm-hmm. Even though it looks so simple. What do you think?
Yeah, it's very well made. It's very, classic. Mm-hmm. Reminds me of some other, a lot of the fun animated ones growing up like that. If I'm shooting from the hip, I'm just putting it one above DreamWorks.
It's definitely one above DreamWorks. Is it? Man, it's so much more work than the 20th Century Fox one. I'm gonna put it here. We're gonna reread everything at the end.
And call me biased, but like, and again, it's probably the problem is we are who we are. We're adult men and have different tastes.
Sure.
But like, I don't watch a Pixar movie and go, oh yeah, like you get that logo. Like there's certain times you hear that 20th Century Fox that and you're just like,
it is way older.
Let's go.
Yeah, so like even though they both are owned by the same people, like Fox was going on for so long that I agree with that. That makes me feel better about it. Okay. The next one, I thought about this one earlier today because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say about this one. So this is the Plus logo, and I said we're not doing like logos, but I was in a hurry. The Paramount logo is a mountain, which it's the Paramount, like so it means what it is in the logo. It's similar to older stuff like the Columbia stuff because it's just like the lady standing there. So that you got the clouds moving. Again, it's a super blue one. I think at a minimum, it's better than Columbia TriStar, if only because they've put out so much stuff and they have done little variations on it. But I don't think it charts anywhere with some of the other stuff. Like it hasn't had near as much work is like Pixar has on their logo and stuff. So I'm honestly, though, the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, I don't have a good reason to put this above Columbia TriStar. That one tries way harder. That one goes for it way, way more. And
you talked yourself onto my side of the argument, my man, because
they made great movies. I love them. But
aesthetically, they're very similar opening. Like I will sometimes even conflate them if I'm not thinking straight. But there's just the unicorn and the lady holding that torch.
Doesn't have a horn.
Sorry, yeah.
The non-corn. It had a horn delete.
You got me. But
I like that horse.
There's just a little bit more going on there. Like it's not just here's a mountain. Like there's stars and something else going on. It's not just a bunch of stars making a circle.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it. Is that what we're saying? Is after? No, I'm saying here. Where do you think?
I was saying down there. I was thinking like one below Columbia TriStar. But if you're thinking lower, I
don't think it's better than Dimension. I think Dimension has more variation over the years, which is strange because Paramount's been around for so dang long. It's definitely it's tough because it's a really good image.
Top Gun.
Yeah, but it's not in the movies though. If I went on my favorite movie, then like where's Magnet? Where's Brawn? Like what are we doing here? So I can't go off of favorites here. And I would if we're going off of favorites, I'd fight tooth and nail to get Universal over that damn lion. But I'm agreeing to science because we're scientists. I'm gonna push it under.
And let that show that we don't have bias, okay?
I like it better than Lionsgate, I think. You cool with this?
I am very cool with that.
All right, let's go with one. Because, like, if you want to talk about movies, like picture houses that make the movies we like, and that's where we're voting on them, what are we going to say about this piece of donkey shit? Like, this manufactures more hot garbage per capita than any of these fools up here. Screen Gems make some really abysmal movies. It's Sony as well. And you know, Chad, we saw one of the Resident Evils together. It was awful. They've made all of them.
Awful fun, but not good.
No, by no stretch of the imagination. And then like look what's going on with the Spider-Man. Look what's going on with the Morbius. Look what's going on with the. So if you want to talk about like a logo evoking not good stuff, this is a F tier. This is a F minus. Because my God, the thousands of dollars I've spent on this stupid company, but that's a good logo. Screen Gems is a recognizable name. That's a great design. It looks professional, and they upgrade it throughout the years. That's one of the newer versions. It usually is like a blue or a silver. Anytime you can get good metallic looking stuff, it's evocative of like a logo or a design. So it isn't a picture of anything. This is a lot of work. I can't in good faith put this over Orion. There's no way. God, I think it's better than Orion though. I'm at a high B.
What makes it better than Orion though? Because like honestly, if you asked me on the street, do you remember the animation for the Orion logo versus the animation for the Screen Gems logo? I will probably be able to approximate Orion. I would not be able to Screen Gems.
It is kind of nothing, but they upgrade it, they change it. And Orion was a short amount of time. Orion just is that one. So we're kind of stuck with it. And so by that measure, and New Line never changed it up either. I think
and MGM doesn't really change out the line every 20 years.
It's either. A lion. It'll bite you if you try to pull it out. I think they only change it when people start talking about the fact that whatever New Line is dead. I think when people start talking about it, they go, we should get another lion in here. We gotta, can we fake it yet? No, they don't look good. Look at Lion King. Watch Lion King. Don't do it. Just get a real one. We can buy some steaks. I can't in good faith put it behind my favorite one, Orion. I can't put it behind New Line Cinema. I think it's the top of B. What do you think?
I would be fine with that. I don't feel super strongly, but I honestly, the highest I was willing to go would be maybe behind Paramount, but I just feel it shouldn't have gone above Paramount was my only.
Definitely not. Hard agree. Right. I think there's more work that's been gone into Lionsgate, especially considering there's at least 3 variations that we just looked at. Because there's the one with the drawing. I think this has a little less work than that, but it has way more work than the other 2. I think it deserves, and it's good. I think it's a good design. I think like artistically speaking, this is like what I want for corpo art. So let's go with what this. I'm not going to talk about this one first. This one's Samuel Goldwyn. Chad, what are your thoughts?
The guy had some good calligraphy, my friend.
It's a great signature.
He could write the hell out of a gold signature.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
There are some animated versions where it's like a light that goes through, and then there's some where it's being signed. So there's at least 3 versions of this one. I don't think they hardly ever change. If they change the color, I remember there being a black background and a white font over it. So 2 seconds on Photoshop there. I think this is, well, no, you finished saying, I'm sorry.
No, I was just laughing at that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think yeah.
Go ahead. Shoot for you.
This is the laziest one up here. It's just writing.
I
agree. I can do this and take a picture of my cell phone and send it to you 30 seconds. So like, I love the work that Samuel Goldwyn did, and he's one of the people that we wouldn't be where we are. We definitely wouldn't be doing this without him. I mean, it's Metro. His other company is the #1 spot, but I'm pretty sure that Sam is the alpha and the omega of production or distribution company logos. If you ask me, I'm putting him at D. What do you think?
I agree. D is where this one belongs. It's just. Like even the Touchstone Flash gives me more of a,
yes.
You've been going more aesthetically because you have more
I'm a nerd.
better way of describing that. I've been going on the vibe alone with a lot of these, and just
Sure.
emotionally, I just have no attachment to it except for just I remember some old movies that was a part of.
A lot of great movies came out. They're still doing it, man. I've got a trailer bookmark. I don't know where I put it right now, but they just like put out they got a movie that came out last year. Like they're still, crunching it. I don't think the Mouse House owns it. So like that's another indie one. But outside of that, not really. So Sam, I'm sorry, buddy, but I mean your other one's I don't know what to tell you. But also too, if my other company had a lion in it, you're damn right my next logo is just gonna be Scribble Scrabble because I'm tired. So anyway,
my arm's sore from holding that lion, damn it.
Exactly. All right. So penultimate one. This one's gonna be interesting based on our conversations on the last one. So I definitely want you to take point on this one. United Artists.
So United Artists.
Okay.
This one is a very difficult one to pin down because like it's iconic. Like I can imagine it in my head. It's sharp. It looks good.
Yeah.
But the problem for me, Trent, is like I usually have, like I've been saying, like what do I feel like the movies that I see this with, and just mystique or mysteriousness because I'm just not remembering a lot with this logo. So I remember seeing it, just off of, I'm for once going purely off of aesthetics. I would put this above Lionsgate.
Okay.
I like the look of it more than all but one of the Lionsgate's logos, and that's not the one they stuck with. They moved towards worse ones going forward, so that's why it's one above that, because I like what they got going on more with that.
I want to Google something real quick.
Yeah.
United Artists. So I can't remember because now it's saying that Beetlejuice is owned by Warner Bros. I don't think it came out as Warner Brothers. I think it got picked up by Warner Brothers. But I'm trying to find if it was a United Artists film. But everywhere's saying Warner Bros. But I distinctly remember there's at the beginning of Beetlejuice when the logo comes up, it's like today daylight come and me one go over the logo, and then the boom of the Danny Elfman comes in. I think it's that. I could be wrong. I'd have to get out my videotape of it, but we're not going to do that. You have it above Lionsgate. It is a little prolific. It was a smaller company before it got snatched up. I think it did more than like Orion did. I like it a lot. Man, if I made this, I'd be real happy. Like if I made a car, this would be like the badge for the car. It looks fucking good and it's simple.
Sharp.
Let's do it. Let's just, we got the talking stick, so let's do it. Last one's a bit of a curveball because I don't know how many, if any, movies I've seen from this company. I think I have. I was looking at some, but this is another company that got snatched up and bought and passed around a lot. This is like the granddaddy of small, distribution companies. This is the beginning. RKO, baby. RK who? To the late night, early. I'm not gonna sing the rest of it because I sing the dirty words. But Chad and I are big fans of Rocky Horror. You can't see it from here. Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I don't think that RKO initially picked up. Maybe they did, but I think the singing about it in the movie was in reference to it being such an old timey, broadcast company because it was in radio. It was in. I don't know if it was in TV. I think it was in TV. I feel like I wanted like something from UHF was brought up about RKO, but it evokes a lot of that old stuff. This is a hell of a logo. It never got updated because I think they only ran for like 10, 15 years or something in the like 20s. They made this back. This is like Tony Stark making something in a cave. This is incredible. This is sexy. I want this on a shirt. This is a tattoo, man. Oh, but they didn't make anything that we care for. Great. It's a tree that fell in the forest. What do you think, man?
Man, yeah.
Yeah, like, right?
It's hard not to give this one an S tier just because of the nostalgia and personal feelings. But throwing personal biases aside, like it's just cool as fuck.
Well, you're also a big Jack White fan, and he 1000% draws from the inspiration from this. But the lightning bolts, the tower,
with the Tesla towers or whatever.
Absolutely.
He's got, yeah.
And because RKO is what a lot of people are trying to evoke, that old timey big pictureness to it. And so because it was the original, I mean, it also, like I talk about it being hard to make. I couldn't make this. This was like they made like a miniature, like probably a big, it looks like it was a big miniature, and they filmed it. This half of these aren't, that wasn't true for. So wowzers, I couldn't make anything half as cool as this. And they weren't trying to be retro. They weren't trying to be evocative of another era. This was mod, man. This was of the time. This was the slickest shit anybody had ever seen. Well, probably not, but this is a good one. They didn't tame a lion though, and they didn't last very long. That's the other issue with it too. This was just a bloof. And so in good conscience, I can't, oh man, I have a hard time with this. Because if it's A, it's high A. If it's S, it's low S. But I don't know if you're even close to that. Where are you sitting?
I'm actually very close. That's why I'm having a difficult time here. I'm kind of just staring at it sideways because
is it better than 20th Century Fox? Is it? It looks. Which one of the? I mean,
that's where I struggle because it's either if it's above 20th Century Fox, it's in the low end of S, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
But I don't know if it's above 20th Century Fox.
Well, that's what I mean. S tier is supposed to be the encapsulated ultimate. It's supposed to be a step beyond everything else. And this is a step beyond 20th Century Fox. Because again, 20th Century Fox, at one time, that would have been painted by hand. But
is
someone
20th
had to...
Century Fox in the wrong tier?
No, it's A. Top A.
No, I mean, like, is it in the correct tier?
Oh,
though?
yeah.
Like,
I went back and rewatched the first episode, and we were talking about the lights moving. That song is burned into our brains until we die. Like, we'll be on the toilet and just think that every now and then. That affected our lives. I can't put it up on S because it is so similar to a bunch of things, but my heart kind of wants it to be an S. I think 20th Century Fox is exactly. I weirdly agree with I even agree with Orion. I just want to give you shit about it. I don't know. Do I really?
Oh yeah, I wasn't losing sleep over that one.
I don't know. New Line though really pisses me off. That's what grinds my gears is that it's under that one. Okay, so I want to put. Here's my pitch. I want to put it up after A24 because this is almost like an in memoriam, or like when they do like when they're doing the Oscars and they give like an award to like someone that's passed away. I think that deserves that. I think it deserves to be, because this is a lot more hard work. And I don't know that many people on this list put that much work into it and that much love and that care and time. And no one's made one that's been that prolific. Even the ones we have on this list, in some form, some of them are drawing from this, or they at least were inspired when they were kids and they don't think about it. This is the Beatles of these, man. I got to go. Yeah. I'm going right after A24 as a way of saying you are S tier, but you did not go as far as any of these other people that had to keep doing it for more movies. I think they didn't have a whole lot of variations, but they weren't given the opportunity. But why weren't they given an opportunity? Maybe they could have been better. I don't know. I think that's what I think.
Agree with you now. And for the reasons being that I just replayed it in the background of my computer because I couldn't remember what the sound was for. If that was just something I only was imagining from Rocky Horror Picture, or what it was the actual thing. And it's got to be S tier because of it. It's got that iconic sound, that like I wasn't even sure, but I knew it was
people
that iconic
use that
sound.
For stuff. They swipe it because that logo
and visually it's just cooler than the 20th Century Fox is. Like the lightning bolts off the tower and just like
most recently watch French Dispatch, and don't tell me that Wes Anderson wasn't recreating that when he climbs up the tower. There's so much imagery in that he if he didn't do it on purpose, he definitely had it in the back of his big old movie brain. So he brought it out there. Not that French Dispatch is the reason it's a great movie, but shit. All right, we did it. We rule high ruled. We are the best scientists of all time. We gave you everything you wanted. So right now, what we're saying is this is how it breaks down. This is the top 20 movie distribution company logos as seen by scientists. MGM, Universal, Warner Bros., Lucasfilms, A24, RKO, 20th Century Fox, Pixar, DreamWorks, Walt Disney, Columbia, TriStar Dimension, Paramount, United Artists, Lionsgate, Screen Gems, New Line Cinema, Orion Touchdown Pictures, and Samuel Goldwyn, in that order. Just write them down as I was reading them. For your movie journal, I guess. Well,
you know what? Congrats to a lot of these studios out here having better than average logos over the years. You know, good luck next time, Metro Goldwyn Mayer. That they're
you know, I kind of appreciate the one in the. I kind of like it more now that we put it in the. I don't want to raise it. I'm just saying that, like, I'm a underdog kind of guy, and I think that one's kind of an underdog because he's like, what do you want for your logo? There.